Hi there, and welcome back to the ICRA Technology Web Analytics series. In this video, we are unlocking the core building blocks of web analytics. Two words you'll hear over and over again, that is metrics and dimensions. If you have ever opened a Google Analytics report and felt a little lost, don't worry, you are not alone. But by the end of this session, you will understand exactly what these terms mean, how they work together, and why they are so essential in data driven decision making. Let's break it down simple and clear. Before that, web analytics terminology, matrices with dimensions, perfect for learners to new web analytics and for anyone looking to build a strong foundation before diving into tools like Google Analytics 4, GA4, Adobe Analytics, or Matomo. Why web analytics terminology matters. So, why this matters? Before we start building fancy dashboards or analyzing marketing campaigns, we need to understand the language of web analytics. Among the most critical terms in this language are matrices and dimensions. These two concepts are fundamental because they determine how data is recorded, organized, and displayed in every analytics tool. If you misunderstand these terms, your reports may be inaccurate or misleading. But once you know how to use them correctly, you will be able to segment your data, uncover hidden insights, and make confident data driven issues. Think of matrices and dimensions as the grammar rules of data. If you mix them up, your reports will be confusing or even wrong. But when you get it right, you can track performance, uncover what's working and what's not working, make confident data backed decisions. Now, what are matrices? Matrices are numbers, they are quantitative, meaning they measure how much, how many, or how long. Matrices are quantitative measurements. They represent numerical values, counts, totals, percentage, or average that tell you how your website campaign or user journey is performing. In simple terms, matrices are how many, how much, or how long. Here are everyday examples for users: the number of unique people who visit your website, total unique visitors. For sessions, the total number of visits. Our users may have multiple sessions, number of visits. Page views, how many times pages are viewed in total. In bounce rate, it can be the percentage of visitors who left without interacting. Average session duration, for how long on average users stayed on your site. And with transactions, total number of completed purchases. With conversion rate, the percentage of users who completed a desired action. Actions like form submissions or purchases. And a real life example, let's say your blog had 10,000 page views this month and 3,000 users. The numbers are matrices. This will help you measure performance, you visited but don't tell you who has visited, what pages like they liked, or where they came from. Those are matrices, solid, trackable, and numbers. Now, what are dimensions? Now, let's talk dimensions. Dimensions are qualitative attributes for your data. They describe characteristics or properties of users, traffic sources, pages, devices, and more. Dimensions answers questions like who are your users, where are they coming from, what device or browser are they using, or which page or campaign brought them in. So, those are qualitative, they describe who, where, how, or what. Think of them as labels or categories that give context to your numbers. The examples include um, country or city like India, USA, UK, or New York. A device category includes mobile, desktop, or laptop. A page title includes home, pricing, blog post, the title of the page, and campaign name like specific campaign identifiers like spring underscore sale 2025, summer 2025 underscore promo. Now, again, a real life example. If 2000 users from India and 1000 from US, those are the visitors on your page, India and US are values of dimension called country. The number of users, 2000 or 1000 is a metric. India and US here in your website are dimension called countries, and number of users called as metrics are 2000 to 1000. In simple words, India and US are the dimension values under the country dimension. The number of users, 2000 and 1000, is the metrics. Now, how they work together. Why matrices and dimensions are so important in web analytics. So, how they work together. Let's say you want to analyze where your traffic is coming from. So, dimension is equals to source of medium and matrices is equals to sessions, bounce rate, conversion rate. Your report might look like this. The shape your reports. Every web analytics report is built from a combination of matrices and dimension. For example, sessions, also called as metric by country dimension, or bounce rate can be metric by landing page can be the dimension. They shape your reports and they also provide meaningful insights. Without dimensions, matrices are just raw numbers. You need both to make sense of data. For instance, knowing your website has 5,000 sessions last week is helpful, but knowing that 80% of the sessions came from mobile users gives you context and the straight insight. And the third one is they also enable segmentation. By breaking down matrices across various dimensions, you can segment your users and personalize their experience. For example, what is a conversion rate, which is metric for desktop users, dimension with mobile users? Or you can also take it as how does average session duration vary by the country? Now, the last one, the guide performance optimization. Matrices and dimensions helps you pinpoint what's working and what is not. If the bounce rate is higher on one landing page or device, you can investigate and then fix it. These terms helps you give the tools to take action. Now, to understand how they work together, let's say you want to analyze where your traffic is coming from. Okay, so in dimension, with using dimension, you can be use it for source or medium, and matrices can be used for sessions, bound rate, and conversion rate. Your report might look like this. Your source or medium can be Google organic, and then sessions 3000, bounce rate 42%, and conversion rate 3.2%. This is just an example. Now this report tells a story. Google sends the most users and converts the best. Facebook has high bounce rate and low conversion. See the magic. Dimension gives a context, matrices gives a value. Here, the real life case study. A mid sized fashion e commerce store was running digital ad campaigns on Google and Instagram. While traffic to their product pages was high, actual purchase remained low. They suspected a problem in the checkout process but did not know where. Using Google Analytics and Hotjar, the team analyzed that user drop off points during the checkout funnel, mobile versus desktop conversion rates, and also analyzed that heat maps of the checkout page. Here, a mid-sized, not so high-level fashion e-commerce store was running a digital ad campaigns on the Google and Instagram, all the social media pages. While the traffic to the product pages was high, they were getting a lot of traffic. Actual purchases remained low, but the people who purchased their services was low. They suspected a problem in the checkout process but did not know where. So they suspected a problem in the checkout process but did not know where the actual problem was coming from. Using Google Analytics 4 and Hotjar, those two tools, the team analyzed that user drop off points during the checkout funnel and also analyzed mobile versus desktop conversion rates, heat maps of the checkout page. Here, the common mistakes to avoid. Many beginners mistakenly believe that matrices and dimensions are interchangeable, but they serve entirely different purposes. Matrices are numerical values, while dimensions provide context for those numbers. Thinking that all data is a metric, country is not a number, it is a dimension. Confusing the two can lead to incorrect groupings and flawed analysis. Another common misconception or a mistake is that matrices alone are enough to analyze web traffic. While matrices like sessions or bounce rate give you raw data, dimensions such as device type or traffic source help explain what's driving those numbers. Without dimensions, you miss the full story. Lastly, not every data field in analytics is a metric. Items like country, campaign name, or browser type are dimensions. Not values to be measured, but categories used to segment and organize your matrices effectively. Understanding this distinction is critical for building meaningful reports. Here, thinking that all data is a metric is a mistake. Country is not a number, it is a dimension. Using matrices without dimensions. We had 5,000 sessions is good, but from where, on what device, that's where dimension comes in. Confusing the two in reports, mixing them up leads to blank dashboards or incorrect analysis in GA4 or any tool. Now, how this applies in Google Analytics 4? How does this knowledge helps you in tools like Google Analytics 4? In Google Analytics 4 GA4, every report or exploration you create relies on choosing the correct dimensions and matrices. When building a custom report in GA4, you always choose one one or more dimensions to group your data, for example, by device or by campaign, or one or more matrices to measure performance, example, sessions or conversion. For example, dimension can be used for campaign and matrices can be sessions, engagement rate, and conversions. You will see which campaigns are driving results and which needs tweaking. Here, inaccurate use of matrices or dimensions can lead to flawed analysis or even empty reports. And who should master this? Who needs to master this? Honestly, anyone working with web data has to master this. Digital marketers to understand campaign and channel performance. A content strategist has to master this to see which content is performing and why. A SEO specialist has to master this to analyze search performance by device, location, or landing page. A web developer has to master this to help configure event tracking and tag setup properly. For a student and a freelancers to build foundational analytics like skills for career advancement. Now let's go back to the real world case study. A fashion e-commerce brand was running ads on Google and Instagram. They had tons of traffic but had low purchases. By combining matrices and dimensions, they discovered that most mobile users dropped off at checkout. Dimension is equals to device. Here, the payment step had the highest abandonment rate via funnel tracking. Heat maps showed users were not noticing the Pay Now button, the CTA. Result, they simplified the mobile checkout, added trust badges, and optimized the page. The outcome for these changes gave them 28% more mobile conversions, 15% fewer drop offs, and all powered by matrices plus dimensions. Now, final thoughts. Matrices and dimensions are not just technical terms, they are the core language of digital data analysis. Once you master these concepts, your ability to build smart reports, derive actionable insights, and influence business decisions improves dramatically. Without this foundational understanding, even the most advanced analytics tool won't give you answers you're looking for. Here, matrices and dimensions might sound like tech terms, but they are the core of everything in analytics. Once you master them, every chart, dashboard, and data insight will make more sense, and you will have the confidence to use any analytics tools effectively. So, the next time you open GA4 or Matomo, you won't just see numbers, you'll understand what they mean and what to do next. See you in the next module where we start building your first real time reports.